The Department of Health and Senior Services has set guidelines for different symptoms and risk factors that qualify someone to be tested for the coronavirus.
KRCG 13's Gracie Matisse joins us in the studio with a look at these state requirements.
Tony and Megan, Mercy Hospital in St. Louis is one site in Missouri that is conducting drive-through COVID-19 testing. Drive-through testing often limits the amount of hospital admissions. Mercy medical workers collected 52 samples over the weekend, but there are still state guidelines that patients have to meet to be tested. The first case that would qualify someone for state testing is showing signs of fever or symptoms of lower respiratory illness and close contact with a lab-confirmed COVID-19 patient. The second case is someone that has a fever and symptoms of lower respiratory illness that may or may not require hospitalization and a history of travel from an affected area. Domestically, those areas include King County in Seattle, Washington, Westchester County in New York, and Santa Clara County in California. Another case that qualifies for state testing is severe acute lower respiratory illness requiring hospitalization and no contact with a patient who has had a confirmed case of COVID-19.
The mayor's resolution recommends the city of Columbia follow CDC guidelines of prohibiting events of more than 50 people and restricting gatherings of more than 25 people, such as at churches and restaurants. The mayor says the three major components of the resolution are preparedness, response, and recovery. The resolution will give the city manager and the Boone County Health Director the power to enforce the guidelines. Several Columbia bar owners have already agreed to close because of the coronavirus threat. Mayor Treece calls the pandemic a natural disaster unfolding in slow motion.
When it comes to limiting bars and restaurants at this point, the decision is to limit bars and restaurants to 50% of their capacity or 50 people or less, including their staff. And I've reached out to restaurant owners, the Restaurant Association, and I think there is broad consensus from both the national, state, and local level to follow those guidelines.
Mayor Treece says everyone should be prepared and not panic. Boone County Health Director Stephanie Browning says coronavirus test kits should be available to all those needing them in Boone County within the next week. Tonight's Columbia City Council meeting starts at 7 p.m. Reporting live in Columbia, Mark Slavitt, KRCG 13.